This may sound like a broken record to you. However, your diet is the most essential part of achieving optimal wellness, and not just through your room, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Candida absolutely loves sugar. A diet high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, so think about breads, pastas, pastries, sugary drinks, provides the perfect fuel source for Candida to multiply rapidly.
They been cramping my style all week. Craving chocolate treats, checking pants, checking seeds, sipping herbal tea, and fight for menstrual equity. Hey, I kick Cramp's ass. 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 You're now tuned in to the Kick Cramp's Ass podcast with your host, Brittany Walker, advocating for menstrual equity, period poverty, and womb wellness. New episodes on Menstruation Mondays.
Happy Menstruation Monday. Welcome to the Kick Cramp's Ass podcast, where I am your host, Brittany Walker, but I go by B, where we are always destigmatizing the conversations about menstrual health. But today, we're diving into a topic that many menstruators experience but rarely discuss in detail: the often overlooked connection between Candida overgrowth and your menstrual cycle. Have you ever noticed recurring symptoms around certain times of the month that just don't seem to go away? You are not alone, and Candida might play a bigger role than what you think. Throughout this episode, we will explore what exactly Candida is, how it can throw off your menstrual cycle and hormonal balance, some surprising statistics, common causes of Candida overgrowth, and most importantly, practical tips to keep Candida in check for a smoother monthly experience. So go ahead and grab your cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's unravel this monthly Tango. Now, you know we like to kick off each episode with the I am power statement. I representing inspiration, A representing affirmations, and M representing manifestations. And today's I am power statement is: I love and appreciate my womb for all that it is and all that it does. Ashe. Now, we also like to give a quote of the day. And today's is: my period is a sign that my body is healthy and strong. And that actually comes from Josie's journal, meaning that your period symptoms or lack thereof notifies you when your body needs healing or is robust and powerful. Paying attention to the color of your blood, the length of your menstruation phase, any abnormal symptoms, or irregularities is imperative. In the description of this episode, we will drop a link to our menstrual blood chart that we have through our resource center on our Kick Cramp's Ass website. Now, as we discussed last week, being an investigator of your own body is essential in managing your menstrual cycle and achieving optimal womb wellness. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my tea and take a sip of our good old Cramp elixir, which was our bestseller in 2023 and 2024, and we'll be right back with you after this commercial break. Have you tried our bestseller, the Cramp elixir? It's our herbal tea blend designed to reduce and eliminate menstrual cramps, PMS symptoms, and other uterine health issues that are hindering your day-to-day progress. Our elixir may decrease inflammation, reduce stress and anxiety, regulate blood flow, balance your mood, and it can kick Cramp's ass. It includes a variety of herbs including hibiscus, red raspberry leaf, calendula, motherwort, ashwagandha, plus more. Head over to kickcrampsass.org and grab yours today. Now, back to the show. Welcome back from that commercial break. We hope that you enjoyed it. Now let's start with the basics. What exactly is Candida, and why is it something that we need to pay attention to? Now, Candida is a naturally occurring yeast. Yes, a type of fungus that lives in various parts of the body. Think of it as a quiet resident that lives in your gut, your mouth, on your skin, and yes, even in your vagina. Now, under normal circumstances, it coexists peacefully with the myriad of other microorganisms that make up our microbiome. It is part of the natural flora. However, the term Candida growth or overgrowth refers to the situation where this particular yeast multiplies excessively, disrupting the delicate balance within the body. Now, the most common species responsible for human infections is Candida albicans, which is naturally occurring yeast that lives in and on parts of the body. Now, when this type of Candida has an overgrowth, it can lead to a range of uncomfortable symptoms. You might be familiar with vaginal yeast infections, but Candida can also manifest as digestive issues like bloating or gas, persistent fatigue, or even brain fog or memory issues. It is a systematic issue and not just a localized one. Now, how does this internal imbalance directly influence something as fundamental as our menstrual cycle? It might seem like two separate issues, but they are surprisingly intertwined. The primary connection lies in our hormones, particularly with estrogen. Candida overgrowth can interfere with how your body metabolizes estrogen in the liver. A healthy liver is absolutely crucial for processing and eliminating excess estrogen from your system. Now, when Candida is overgrown, it produces toxins such as acetaldehyde, which can put a significant burden on your liver, making it less efficient at clearing these hormones. This can lead to a state we call estrogen dominance. This is not necessarily about having too much estrogen, but rather a relative imbalance where estrogen levels are disproportionately higher compared to your progesterone. Now, symptoms of estrogen dominance include heavier periods, which is menorrhagia, we talked about before, more painful periods, which is dysmenorrhea, intensified PMS symptoms like severe mood swings, bloating, and breast tenderness, which is PMDD or premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and even irregular cycles, which is oligomenorrhea. Now, we have talked about all of these conditions in this season and previous seasons. So in the description of this episode, we're going to insert different episodes that we've recorded and articles from our KCA magazine that can help you better understand these different conditions. Now, beyond hormones, chronic candida overgrowth also puts a significant strain on your immune system. Now, if your immune system is constantly battling an internal overgrowth, it becomes less effective at managing other bodily processes, including the intricate dance of hormonal regulation needed for a healthy menstrual cycle. Now, a weakened immune response can also make you more susceptible to other infections, further complicating your menstrual health. And finally, candida overgrowth often creates systematic inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation can disrupt the delicate hormonal symphony that governs the menstrual cycle, potentially leading to increased discomfort like heavy or painful menstrual cramps, more severe PMS, and even cycle irregularities. So, you might experience recurrent vaginal yeast infections, particularly in the premenstrual or postmenstrual phase, increased PMS symptoms like bloating and mood swings, heavier or more painful periods, and in addition to these symptoms that we just mentioned, you might also experience recurrent vaginal yeast infections, particularly in the premenstrual or the postmenstrual phases. So, as you can see, this is a complex interplay in between candida and the menstrual cycle. Now, we have to give you statistics on the prevalence of candida affecting menstruation. Now, it is so easy to feel alone when dealing with recurring health issues, but let's look at the numbers and see how prevalent these issues are globally. Now, how common is it for candida to be a factor in menstrual health and menstrual experiences. Now, this study from 1999, titled Effects of Reproductive Hormones of Experimental Vaginal Candidiasis, discovered information 26 years ago about a connection with Candida and the menstrual cycle. Guys, 26 years ago, research was already being done on this subject. So we're almost 3 decades later. So just imagine how detrimental Candida has been on menstruation, and menstruators don't even know. So, vulval vaginal candidiasis is a significant problem for women of childbearing age. Approximately 75% of all menstruators experience at least one episode of VVC during their lifetime. Now, clinical observations also show that VVC most often occurs in menstruators during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle. And this is typically when estrogen and progesterone levels are elevated. Now, Candida albicans, as we mentioned, a commensal organism of the gastrointestinal and reproductive tracts, is the causative agent in approximately 85 to 90% of cases of VVC or RVVC, which is recurrent vulvovaginal candidiasis. An additional study from 2002 titled Local Immune Responsiveness Following Intravaginal Challenge with Candida Antigen in Adult Women at Different Stages of the Menstrual Cycle, they posed the conclusion of, although most women experience infrequent episodes of VVC, precipitated by pregnancy, use of oral contraceptives, uncontrolled diabetes, and antibiotic usage, 5 to 10% of otherwise healthy women suffer from recurrent VVC or RVVC, more than 3 episodes per year without any recognizable predisposing factors. And then this final study from 2021 titled The Menstrual Disorders in Women of Reproductive Age with Obesity studied women seeking medical assistance with infertility. So while on their menstrual cycles, obese childbearing women experience these gynecological diseases most frequently: urogenital infection, Candida vaginitis, and bacterial vaginosis. So as you can see, based on these studies, Candida overgrowth has had a significant impact on the menstrual cycle. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with you. Tired of clunky remote recordings? Level up with Riverside FM Pro. Get studio quality audio and video, effortless editing with powerful AI tools, and seamless live streaming and collaboration. Become a pro of Riverside.fm and unlock the full potential of your content. Sign up today and make your voice heard. Visit the link in the description of this episode to discover more. Now, back to the show. Welcome back from that commercial break. We hope that you enjoyed it. Understanding what fuels Candida is key to preventing its overgrowth in the first place. Let's explore the common culprits that can tip the scales in Candida's favor. One of the biggest factors is antibiotic use. While antibiotics are essential for bacterial infections, they can be indiscriminate. They kill off not only the bad bacteria, but also the beneficial bacteria in our gut and other areas. Now, these good bacteria normally keep Candida in check. When they are wiped out, Candida faces less competition and can flourish unopposed. Next up, our diet. This may sound like a broken record to you. However, your diet is the most essential part of achieving optimal wellness, and not just through your room, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Candida absolutely loves sugar. A diet high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, so think about breads, pastas, pastries, sugary drinks, provides the perfect fuel source for Candida to multiply rapidly. If you consume these foods frequently, pay attention to your tongue. If you have a buildup towards the back of your tongue, then you are susceptible to Candida overgrowth. This is why scraping your tongue and also brushing it aids in not only maintaining fresh breath, but controlling the growth. Chronic stress is another major contributor. We have discussed mitigating stress just as much as eating a well-balanced, nutrient-dense diet. Perfect for Mental Health Month, this is the ideal time for you to adopt adequate practices, tools, and resources to manage your stress and ultimately improve your mental wellness. When we are under constant stress, our bodies release cortisol, which can suppress the immune system. So, a weakened immune system makes it harder for our bodies to control Candida populations. Oral contraceptives and other hormonal imbalances can also play a role. Hormonal birth control can sometimes alter the vaginal pH and influence estrogen levels, creating a more favorable environment for Candida growth. Speak to your healthcare professional about side effects and potential outcomes before agreeing to a contraceptive. If you experience after consuming contraceptives, then follow up with your doctor to reevaluate your contraceptive options. Naturally, having a weakened immune system from illness, nutrient deficiencies, or other chronic conditions also makes you more susceptible to Candida overgrowth, which, as we discussed, is crucial for hormonal metabolism. Plus, alcohol often contains sugars that feed Candida. Then finally, any type of steroid usage or even factors like chlorinated water can negatively impact your gut flora, contributing to an environment where Candida can thrive. Therefore, be mindful of the pools, hot tubs, and man-made bodies of water that you get into. So, the good news is there is a lot you can do to keep Candida in check and support a healthier, more balanced menstrual cycle. Let's get into some actionable tips that you can start implementing today. First and foremost, dietary changes. This is perhaps the most impactful step. Drastically reducing your intake of sugar, refined carbohydrates, and this means cutting back on sugary drinks, desserts, white breads, pastas, any processed foods, fast foods. Instead, focus on non-starchy vegetables, plant proteins, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. You might want to incorporate quinoa, black rice. Healthy fats would be any forms of nuts and seeds. We want to say walnuts, pecans, hemp seeds. Very helpful for you. Now, some people find incorporating fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, or even kefir as helpful as they introduce beneficial bacteria. However, if you are actively fighting a severe overgrowth, some people find these irritating initially, so listen to your body as it's trying to ward off the toxins and the non-beneficial bacteria in the body. Probiotics are incredibly important. Supplement with high-quality, diverse strains of probiotics, especially those with lactobacillus species, which are crucial for vaginal health. These help reestablish a healthy balance of beneficial bacteria. And we mentioned some of them just before. These include sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, also miso, pickled vegetables, root vegetables like beets and turnips, bananas, or even avocados. Stress management is non-negotiable. Incorporate practices like yoga, meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply spending time in nature. You know, we have Pilates for periods, our fitness and mindfulness program. We'll have a link in the description of this episode that can help you out with your yoga, Pilates, meditation, and breathwork needs. Also, reducing chronic stress directly supports your immune system. Be mindful of antibiotic use. We talked about that, how that causes Candida growth not too long ago. So only take them when absolutely necessary, and always discuss probiotic support with your doctor if you are prescribed antibiotics. Consider natural antifungals, but always consult a healthcare professional before starting any new supplements. Ingredients like garlic, oregano, and grapefruits have antifungal properties. You also want to support your liver health. Drink plenty of water or stay hydrated through the following foods: cucumbers, seeded watermelon, or celery. Water is essential for all bodily functions, including detoxification and maintaining overall health. Consume cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. Consider liver supporting herbs like milk thistle or dandelion root. And a healthy liver is key to processing hormones and toxins within the body. And then for vaginal health, practice good hygiene. Menstrual Hygiene Day is on May 28th, so this is perfect timing to bring up our hygiene. Wear breathable cotton underwear or no underwear at all if it is legal in the country that you reside. Avoid harsh soaps or scented products in the vaginal area. Definitely avoid douching as it disrupts the natural pH balance. And then in sexual activities, be mindful of the products that you use, whether they're edible, the cleaning products for your toys, or just simply you or your partner's actual hygiene. All right, guys. So that wraps it up for the tips to control your Candida overgrowth. We're going to cut to this quick commercial break and we'll be right back with you. Periods got you down? Kick cramps to the curb with Pilates for periods. Our online program combines targeted Pilates, soothing yoga, calming meditation, and breathwork to help you manage your menstrual cycle naturally. Feel stronger, calmer, and more in control. Reclaim your comfort. Visit Pilates for Periods YouTube page linked in the description of this episode and start your journey to a more manageable cycle today. Now, back to the show. Welcome back from that commercial break. We hope that you enjoyed it. So let's talk about news, events, and what we have coming up. We just mentioned Menstrual Hygiene Day, and we have an event coming up on May 28th. Beginning this Wednesday, May 21st, you will have access to our Menstrual Hygiene Day game. The first 3 individuals to submit all correct answers will receive some of our products and services in honor of Menstrual Hygiene Day on May 28th. So be sure to keep up with our newsletter, sign up on our website, and you can keep up with all the latest news, events, and resources that we have going on. And when we announce the winner on actual Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is this year on Wednesday, May 28th. All right, guys. Now, options for you to improve your wellness. We have our resource center. It has a plethora of different items, additional research, recipes, our archive blog, access to our magazine, womb terminology, wellness referrals, so much information that's critical for you in achieving optimal womb wellness. We also have Pilates for Periods, our fitness and mindfulness program. We offer yoga, Pilates, meditation, and breathwork opportunities to help you manage your menstrual cycle. We also have KCA, the magazine. It is our digital publication that gives you additional information, data, and research on all the subjects that we talk about on this podcast and throughout the KCA organization. And we just mentioned about signing up for our newsletter to keep up with the latest news, events, resources, and tools. But by doing so, you will get a 15% off coupon to our KCA store to use on your first order. So to recap, Candida overgrowth is more than just a localized issue. It can profoundly impact our hormonal balance and consequently our menstrual cycles. By understanding its causes and implementing simple yet powerful preventive measures, you can take significant steps towards better monthly health. If you have been struggling with recurring symptoms, unusual menstrual patterns, or you suspect Candida might be playing a role, please consider exploring the connection further with a trusted healthcare professional. We will leave a link in the description of this episode where you can sign up for our complimentary consultation for our menstrual therapy to determine if Candida overgrowth is affecting you. Now, whether it's myself or one of your professionals from your health and wellness team, either one of us should be able to provide a personalized advice and support, and you deserve to feel your best throughout your menstrual cycle. Remember, your health is your power. Now, we would love to hear your experiences, so share your thoughts by commenting on this episode. We are still accepting listeners' mail. If you want a more intimate approach, feel free to email us at contact@kitcrampsass.org, which will be listed in the description of this episode as well. And if you found this episode helpful, feel free to like it, share it with somebody that resonates. Feel free to rate or review it. All right, guys. Now, don't forget to also subscribe not only to our website for the newsletter, but to our YouTube channels at Kick Cramp Sass and at Pilates for Periods, which will be listed in the description of this episode, giving you additional resources to help you manage your menstrual cycle journey. All right, guys. With that being said, we want to send gratitude out to all of you for tuning in on this good old Menstruation Monday. And we manifest a positive, productive, and peaceful menstrual journey ahead, wellness journey ahead, and remainder of your Menstruation Monday. And we will be speaking to you on next Menstruation Monday. Peace.